I now give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Ahmed Attaf, Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad of Algeria. You have the floor.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
In the name of God, the Merciful, the Compassionate. Thank you, President. At the outset, I cannot but express to you, within the framework of this debate here at the Council, I cannot but transmit to you a message from the President of our Republic, Ahmed Attaf. The message I have to convey to you is a message of gratitude and recognition vis-à-vis the Secretary General, Antonio Guterres. We also have a message of gratitude to the various UN bodies for all of the efforts they've undertaken so as to alleviate the suffering owing to the tragedy in Gaza. The objective being to heal those wounds, to put an end to the outpouring of blood. This same message is also comprised of our recognition and our support as you continue your efforts, despite attempts to dent your credibility and your standing. You're continuing despite the provocations of an occupying power whose tyranny knows no bounds. Mr. Secretary General, you have our utmost respect and encouragement. At the same time, we bow down before all those who have served the cause of humanity under the flag of the United Nations, all those who gave their lives in Gaza in defense of the loftiest ideas. In a similar vein, we pray for martyrs to rest in peace. They fell for a particular cause. They fell for their motherland, and their cause is our cause. The aggression in Gaza is about to enter its 5th month. The possibility to dissuade the occupying power, Israel, to dissuade it from continuing this aggression seems very far off. This is why all of humanity must, meeting here in this chamber, must confront 3 key challenges. The first challenge is ensuring respect for resolutions, for laws and other legislation. It is unacceptable for us to tolerate grave violations of the aforementioned decisions, especially given that United Nations members have worked to ensure peaceful and civilized coexistence between the members. The second challenge is the following. We need to ensure that no member believes that they deserve better treatment than others. None should receive special treatment. Exemptions, exceptions, selective privileges, and unjustified and unacceptable immunities. That is the second challenge. The third challenge is the need to compel Israel, the colonizing power, to compel Israel to uphold international law and to put an end to this situation whereby impunity and the absence of accountability run amok. We must put an end to all of this and do so in a decisive fashion. Algeria would like to welcome efforts that have been undertaken to put an end to this privileged treatment, this favoritism that's been proffered to some. We welcome the excellent, the valiant initiatives that have been put forward. The objective being to put an end to this situation, to compel the occupying power Israel to shoulder its responsibilities. I am referring to the initiative of the President, His Excellency Abdelmajid Tebboune, to bring together lawyers as well as various organizations, international judicial bodies, so as to bring to justice the occupying power Israel, and to do this in international bodies. I'd also like to refer to South Africa's initiative in particular. South Africa has petitioned the International Court of Justice in response to the genocidal war that is underway in Gaza. There's also another initiative, Chile's initiative, Mexico's initiative. They have filed a complaint with the ICC, the International Criminal Court, given the very serious crimes being committed by Israel in Gaza. All of these initiatives deserve recognition and support because they represent a step in the right direction. We call on these various bodies, these international judicial bodies, to uphold their responsibilities and to implement their mandate. We insist that everyone, in particular all Security Council members, must shoulder their political and security responsibilities. Indeed, the Security Council is the primary body tasked with upholding international peace and security. Given the responsibilities and duties that are invoked, given the situation in Gaza, there can be no doubt that what is of utmost priority is ensuring an immediate ceasefire. Day in, day out, we see attempts to find justifications for what is happening. We see dithering. We see attempts to postpone this ceasefire. And this ceasefire has not been given the attention it deserves. What we need today is to put an end to the aggression, to the genocide, to the displacement of civilians, to attempts to starve, to destroy in Gaza. Today, there's been talk of post-war arrangements. There's no use talking about these arrangements unless we meet the challenges we mentioned earlier. Diplomatic efforts are being made to put an end to the Arab-Israeli conflict in an effective fashion. There can be no doubt about it. What is happening in Gaza today compels us to act, and to do so swiftly, so as to address the root causes of the conflict and to collectively achieve a two-state solution within the collective framework of the international community to ensure just, lasting, and comprehensive peace. We've heard Israel reject this solution, and it is therefore incumbent upon the Security Council and UN agencies, the UN, to respond and to do so firmly. Israel's position is a sign of flagrant disrespect for international law. This is why today we call for Palestine to accede to the United Nations as a fully fledged member. This request was put forward by the non-aligned movement, the NAM, so as to maintain the very foundations of the two-state solution. This is a necessary initiative that will help us to lock in the legal basis for an independent and sovereign Palestinian state within 1967 borders with Jerusalem as its capital. My country is calling for a novel approach so as to achieve peace and a comprehensive, equitable solution to the question of Palestine. Indeed, it is absolutely vital to face up to the illusions which are being disseminated by the occupying power, Israel. Israel claims that it can safeguard its security by thwarting Palestine's national project. We must put an end to the campaign waged by the occupying power, Israel, which is confiscating Palestinian lands, which is annexing them. The occupying power, Israel, is encouraging settlers to spread so as to prevent the establishment of an independent and sovereign Palestinian state. At this fateful time, we must put the brakes on the Israeli occupation and once again combat the illusions being disseminated by the occupying power, Israel. Israel is trying to build a bigger, greater Israel on the ruins of the Palestinian national project. Given the foregoing, Algeria would like to reiterate its historic demand, rather request, for the convening of an international peace conference under UN auspices. The objective being to achieve a definitive, lasting solution to the Arab-Israeli conflict, with due respect for international law and for the achievement of the two-state solution, with the necessary follow-up and the necessary assurances. After everything that's happened in Gaza, we can't go back to the situation that prevailed before. After everything that's happened in Gaza, we cannot simply manage the ramifications of this war without any regard for the root causes for this war. In particular, it's unacceptable for peace and security in the Middle East for this objective to be held hostage by the occupation, the Israeli occupation. Israel is doing whatever it wants. This objective, peace and security, is being used by Israel to exert pressure. It's being used by Israel to get the results it wants. This means that there are lessons to be learned in Gaza, and this is what should prompt us to act. Thank you, President. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you for your statement.